Hello, welcome back to some 1946 APBA Basic Baseball. Today we have the St. Louis Browns in town to face the Detroit Tigers. This is the second game of the year so far. I've have started doing playing every game in the American League. Don't know how far I'll get with that, but that's what I'm doing right now. As I've said in previous videos, this game lends itself to that, as it's a good overview, result-driven, but doesn't take too long. Doesn't take a lot of thinking. You just kind of play and get the results, and I kind of like that. It's a little different than anything else I have. Reminds me a little bit of History Maker, but in that it's kind of broad and generic. Like, for example, the team defense as opposed to individual defense. Kind of gives you that History Maker feel. But anyway, like I said, I'll be doing a video of what I think about it once I get a little bit more experience under my belt. It's uncanny how many games are turning out to the same results as the real life. Like, for example, the Browns and the Tigers' first game, the Tigers won 2-1. That happened in my replay and in real life. The last game I played was the second game of Chicago against the Indians. In that game, the Indians won 7-1 in real life. My result was 7-0. The Indians won. In the first game they played, it was 1-0 Cleveland win, and that happened. So far, all the winners have been the same, except for the first game against Boston and the Senators. That was a 6-3 Boston win in real life, and in my replay, it was a 6-3 Washington win. So we had the same score, just different teams. So, and not that I don't want it to be an exact replica of the 1946 season, but at least so far, that does give me a pretty good indication that that the cards are relatively accurate, because I'm getting the same, not only the same win-loss, but close to the same amount of runs. And again, it's early. I'm only the second day in the season, Wednesday, April the 17th, 1946. So, I'm sure that won't be like that all the way through, and I don't want it to be. But it's a good indicator that at least so far, that it's a good representation of what happens in a Major League Baseball game, at least in 1946. So the pitchers for today, for the Tigers, we have Virgil Trucks, who was 14-9 with a 3.23 ERA in the real life 46 campaign. And then for the Browns, again, who won this game 7-6 in real life, they've got Tex Shirley, who was 6-12 with a 4.96. He is a D grade with a W modifier, so he is going to need some luck to be victorious today. Trucks in real life obviously underperformed a bit, as he is a decent pitcher, a B grade with a X and a Z modifier, so he gets more strikeouts, and he also got good control with the Z, so that will save some walks. So anyway, without further ado, we'll get to the game. I thought I'd only posted the one game, and that was the Bob Feller shutout on opening day, so I thought I would do some periodically. Again, just checking out the new APBA game, getting a feel for it, seeing how it feels in a replay, what I can do with it that's different from other sims that I own. And so far I'm enjoying it. Didn't think I would when I was watching videos, but so far, so good. So anyway, leading off for the Browns will be Bob Dillinger playing third base. That's a 56, which is a 13. The Tigers are a 2 defense, so that will be a strikeout. Al Zarilla, who didn't play opening day but is starting in left field today, is a 46. That's a 29 in the 2 column, and that's an X modifier, which Trucks has, and that's strikeout number 2. So Virgil Truck comes out of the gate throwing gas for the Tigers. And Lou Finney, who also didn't start opening day, is playing right field today for the Browns. That's a 6-5, which is a 35 in the 2 column. And that's going to be a ground ball to first. Hank Greenberg will take it to the bag himself for out number 1. So Virgil Trucks retires the first 3 Browns that he faces. I've always had kind of an interest in the St. Louis Browns. Actually, I kind of have an interest in most defunct teams, like the Philadelphia A's, Seattle Pilots, you know the list. So the Tigers will come to bat here in the bottom of the first. They have Eddie Lake. They have the same lineup they had in opening day, except they've got Bertie Tebbetts behind the plate, and of course a different starting pitcher. So they'll be tackling Tex Shirley for the Browns. So here we go. That's a 31, which is a 14. The Browns come in at a 3, so 14 and a 3 is going to be a walk. So Eddie Lake, who is a fast runner, will be on first. For Eddie Mayo, who had the big hit in opening day, he had a 2-run double, which was all the offense that the Tigers needed to get the win. So Eddie Mayo gets a 64, which is a 13 in the 3 column, and that's going to be a strikeout. So big strikeout there for Tex. As he gets that important first out of the inning, he will focus his attention on Barney McCoskey, playing center field today for the Tigers. That's a 14, which is a 30. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Zarilla in left. And Eddie Lake will scamper back to first for 2 out. Hank Greenberg. I have to make sure I keep the cards in the picture here. Hank Greenberg, 277, 44 home runs, 127 RBIs in real life in 46, will step to the plate. That's a 35, which is a 14. And that's going to be another walk. So surely not wanting anything to do with Greenberg waltzing. So that'll put runners on first and second. 2 out for Dick Wakefield, who's playing left field today. Left-handed hitter. Tex Shirley on the mound. So you got runners on first and second. That's a 45, which is a 14 in the 3 column. And that's going to be yet another walk. And, of course, Shirley doesn't have the Z modifier, as he has the W modifier, so he has proceeded to walk the bases loaded. For Pat Mullen, right fielder today. Looks like the runners on first and second are slow, so we'll have Detroit play it safe with those guys. Lake at third is fast. So the bases are jammed, full of Tigers. Tex Shirley of the Browns in trouble here early, facing Pat Mullen. That's a 32, which is a 26 in the 3 column. The infield is back, of course. That's going to be a fielder's choice, 4-6. So Berardino will toss to Chapman and retire Wakefield at second base for out number 3. So the Browns dodge a bullet there. They get no run, or the Tigers get no runs, no hits, no errors, but they left 3 on. After 1 complete, we are scoreless. Four, 5, and 6 due up for the Browns. Wally Jutnik, the center fielder, will start off here. He gets a 55, which is an 8 on a B, but that's going to be a fly out to center field. So the B rating helping the Tigers there, as McCoskey will flag it down in center field for out number 1. Johnny Berardino, second baseman for the Browns. And he gets a 12, which is a 25 in the 2 column. And that's X modifier, which Trucks has, and so he gets strikeout number 3. So quickly 2 down here in the top half of the second. Mark Chrisman, shortstop, gets a 31, and that's a 9 on the B column, and that's going to be a single over short. So Lake not able to reach it. Wakefield will toss it back in, and the Browns have their first base runner of the afternoon, as this is a day game here in Detroit. So Frank Mancuso, catcher extraordinaire, will step up with 2 out. Chrisman, average runner on first. That's a 54, and that's a 32 in the 2 column. And that's going to be a fly out to right field. And Mullen will catch it with no difficulties. So no runs, a hit, no errors, 1 runner left. We go to the home half of the second, still scoreless at 0, which I understand is redundant. Scoreless at 0, little redundant, but hey. Bottom of the lineup due for the Tigers, as they sent 6 to the plate in the first, but still came up empty-handed. Pinky Higgins, who ends up over with Boston and makes it to the World Series, starts the year out with the Tigers. He gets a 64, which is a 39. It's going to be a strike, but it's a base on balls if you have the W, which Shirley has. So he has issued up his 4th walk, living dangerously. Higgins is a slow runner. It's early in the game, so we'll go ahead and throw caution to the wind. So they'll let him play as normal. Bertie Tebbetts, who's getting the start today at catcher, gets a 64, which is a 13, and that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 2 of the day for Tex. Virgil Trucks will take his place in the right-handed batter's box. That's a 55, which is an 8 on a D. Is a single to center, runner to second, unless there's 2 outs, which there's not. So Virgil Trucks gets the first hit for the Tigers. And that'll bring Eddie Lake to the plate. He walked to lead off the first for the Detroit team. So we got runners on first and second, 1 out. Shirley trying to find some control is a 23, and that's a 26 on the 3 column, and that's an infield fly. Berardino will call for it and put it away for the 2nd out of the inning. Eddie Mayo struck out in his first at bat. Again, he had the big hit in opening day with a 2-run double. And that's a 56, which is a 32. And that's going to be a fly out to right field. So that'll do it for the Tigers as they leave 2 more on. No runs, a hit, no errors. They've left 5 on in 2 innings. And after 2 complete, we still have no score. I've been using my decider die for like decisions, like if I just can't know if like keeping the infield in is a good idea or not, things like that, whether the pinch hit. So kind of giving it a little bit more automated here on some decisions. So Chuck Stevens will lead off here the top of the 3rd for St. Louis. And he's also getting his first start as the St. Louis manager. Shook things up here for game number 2. It's a 61, 37 in the 2 column. That's going to be a strike, as Virgil Trucks does not have the W rating. And that's a re-roll on the 2nd column. And that's a 22, which is a 1 on the B. And that is out of here. So Chuck Stevens, who had 3 home runs all year, picks up 1 there. And the St. Louis Browns jump out 1-0. And of course, that's home run number 1 for Chuck Stevens. Matter of fact, that was his first at-bat of the year. So the St. Louis Browns manager looking like a genius. Tex Shirley gets a 45. That's a 36. And again in the 2 column, and that's going to be a ball. 51 is a 23. And that's going to be a 1-base error on the center fielder. And fielding column 2. So McCoskey, not able to field it cleanly, gets charged with an error. Just double check that. Yep. So that would be an error on McCoskey. So the leadoff hitter, Bob Dillinger, will hit with Shirley, who is a fast runner, oddly enough, for a pitcher, on first base. He struck out to lead off the game. That's a 36, which is a 33 in the 2 column. And that's a high pop-up on the infield. Pinky Higgins at third base calls for it, and there is 1 away. Al Zarilla, who struck out also in his first at-bat, gets a 43, and that's a 29 on the 2 column. Safe at first. See, there isn't 2 outs. There's just 1. There's no Y modifier, so that's going to be 1-6. So Trucks feels it, fires on to Lake, but they're not able to get the double play. And Zarilla, who is a fast runner, is on at first with 2 outs. Lou Finney, he bounced out to Hank Greenberg at first unassisted. And that's a 7 on a B, and that's a single to right, runner to third. So Mullen fires it in, but not before Zarilla ends up at third base. So the St. Louis Browns have runners on the corners with 2 out. And Wally Jutnik due up. So here we go. Big at bat here for Virgil Trucks. He gets a 52, which is a 27 on the 2 column. And that's going to be out at first, 5-3. So Higgins fires on to Greenberg, and that will do it for the Browns, but they do get the 1 run. And they had 2 base hits. There was 1 error. They left 2 runners on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is 1-0 St. Louis Browns. This game definitely has a flow and feel to it. There's enough variety in the results that so far it feels natural. It feels realistic to me. And even though I didn't think I would like, the fact that 6-6 is usually the same thing on every card, things like that, there's enough variety in the results, at least so far. Again, I'm pretty early into it. I may change my mind as I go, but again, it kind of gives me something that none of my other sims do. It's kind of a nice, simple play. You don't have to think. Some games if I lose focus, I forget where I'm at and who did what. This one is, doesn't take as much brain power, and that's enjoyable for me. So Barney McCoskey, we got 3, 4, and 5 up for the Tigers, and that's a 25, which is an 8 on a D. And that's going to be a single to left center. So hit number 2 for the Tigers. McCoskey is an average runner. And so Hank Greenberg, who walked, got as far as second base in the first, will step up. A 6'3", 215-pounder from New York. Big man. Born on New Year's Day, 1911. That's a 56, which is a 14. Looks like he's going to walk again. Yep. So Shirley keeps living dangerously with these walks. I have a feeling that they are going to come back to haunt him. So Dick Wakefield, who has walked in his first at bat, will left-handed hitter, will come to the plate with runners on first and second. Nobody out yet. Greenberg's a slow runner, but we'll go ahead again. It's early enough. We'll play normal and see what happens. That's a 41, which is a 28 in the 3 column. Batter safe at first. Runner out at second, 6-4. So Greenberg gets retired at second. McCoskey makes it to third, and Wakefield, who is a slow runner as well, is on at first with a fielder's choice. So one away here in the top or bottom of the third. Runners on the corners for Pat Mullins, who hit into a fielder's choice his first at bat. That's a 53, which is a 17 on the 3 column. That's going to be a single to right. One runner scores, the other to second. Second here. Other scores and batter to second on wild throw E on the right fielder. Okay, so single to right, one runner scores. The other goes to second and then scores. The batter ends up on second with a wild throw by the right fielder. So Finney in right field throws the ball away. And so McCoskey scores on the single. Wakefield ends up scoring all the way from first. McMullen gets a single, and he gets 1 RBI. And then we are added a E9. So see, that's what I'm talking about. I had never had that result before in the 10 or so games I've played. And so it's just things like that. It just feels, like you're watching the game. And so I probably, again, I'm going to do a video about this, so I'm probably giving away what I'm going to say. But anyway, I wouldn't want to do this if I was trying to manage. Like, for example, I want to do a replay with the 53 Milwaukee Braves. So, in a thing where I'm playing one team and I'm really trying to get them to win, this probably wouldn't be my choice because I want a little more detail in the fieldings and the arms and things like that. But as far as, like, replaying a season just to kind of watch it, be like an observer and a fan, this game definitely lends itself to that. So Mullen with the RBI single, and Finney throws the ball away as the Tigers go up 2-1. Now we have runner on second base with 1 out. And Pinky Higgins, who walked like everybody in Detroit lineup has today, gets a 54. That's a 32 on the 3. That's a fly-out runner to third to right field. So he hits it deep enough that Mullen is able to make it to third. That's a fly-out 9, out number 2. So 2 out. That brings Bertie Tebbetts. So do we walk him to get to Virgil Trucks? Actually, looks like Virgil Trucks can hit. Yeah, so we'll go ahead. We'll go with Bertie Tebbetts here. So we have a runner on third. 2 away. Again, Bertie Tebbetts just in his first start of the year. He struck out in his first at bat. Gets a 56, which is a 34. And that's going to be a pop-up on the infield. Stevens at first calls for it and squeezes it for out number 3. But not before the Tigers regain the lead. They get 2 runs. They had a couple of hits. There was 1 error. And they leave 1 runner on third. So after 3 complete, we have Detroit Tigers 2, St. Louis Browns 1. Johnny Berardino will lead off the festivities for the Browns in the top of the 4th. He struck out in his first at bat. Again, Virgil Trucks, a B rated with an X and a Z on the mound for the Tigers. That's a 65, 35 in the 2 column. And that's going to be a ground ball to first. And Hank Greenberg will wave off Virgil and put it away for out number 1. Mark Chrisman, St. Louis shortstop, singled back in the second, but didn't get any further than first. And that's a 55, which is an 8 on a B, and that's a fly out to center field. So, again, Virgil Trucks rating there, keeping him in good shape for out number 2. Frank Mancuso, or Mancuso. He flew out to end the second. Oh, he gets a double roll on the double column here. And that's 44. That's a 1. And that's out of here. So how about that? He also only had 3 home runs and 260 or 52 at bats. But he has tied the ball game. So the Browns, pulling out the lumber, have hit 2 solo jacks. Of course, that's Mancuso's first home run of the year. And it is now 2-2. So with 2 out, 1 run in already, Chuck Stevens, who hit the first home run last inning, will get an opportunity to get another crack at Virgil Trucks here. That's a 21, which is a 12 on the 2. And that's going to be hit over to Pinky Higgins, who fires on to Greenberg to retire the side. But the Browns get a hit on a run, or a run on a hit. No errors, nobody left. So we go to the home half of the 4th, tied at 2. Virgil Trucks, the 9th hitter, will lead off here in the 4th. He singled in his first at bat. That's a 23, which is a 27 in the 3 column. That's an X modifier, which Shirley does not have, but that'll be a ground ball to Dillinger at third. Fires on to Stevens at first for out number 1. Eddie Lake has walked and popped out. He gets a 34, which is a 31. And that's a fly ball out to center field. Chuck Nick will take a few steps to left center and put it away for out number 2. Eddie Mayo is 0 for 2 today. Second baseman for Detroit. Gets a 45, which is a 14. And that's going to be a walk. Not for sure how many that is for Shirley, but it's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 in under 4 innings. So he is not in control of the ball today. So we've got runner on first with 2 out for Barney McCoskey. He hit .318, couple home runs, 45 RBIs. Got Hank Greenberg on deck, so I'm sure Shirley would like to get McCoskey here. That's a 16, 28 in the 3 column. And that's going to be a slow grounder to short. And Chrisman will have time to throw out McCoskey to end the inning. So that will have Hank Greenberg coming up with no runners on, which is the way you want Hank Greenberg to be up. So 4 in the books. We are tied at 2. Yeah, I think if I keep this project going, and again, I don't care for the word project either, but I'm putting the stats in Stratomatic. So, but this game just lends itself to playing without any other distractions. So what I'm doing so far is just playing the game and then putting the stats in later, which I don't typically do. Normally, I put the stats in as I go. But I don't just the feel of just playing this game without anything but just the cards and the dice appeals to me. So again, I don't know if I'm being overly romantic about it, but that's the way I'm rolling right now. So. All right, so Tex Shirley, he reached on an error to McCoskey in center field. He gets a 41, which is a 29 in the 2 column. And Trucks has that X modifier, so he records yet another strikeout. Dillinger has struck out and popped out in his 2 plate appearances today. That's a 16, which is a 28. And that's a K modifier, so that'll be a ground ball to short. Blake will throw him out for out number 2. Al Zarilla is 0 for 2 today. So he's up 2 out, nobody on. 24 rather, is a 30, and I think that's a fly to left field if I remember. That it is. A K modifier, which Trucks does not have. So he retires the Browns in order in the 5th. That's the second time he's did that. He retired them in order in the 1st. So we go to the home half of the 5th. Still knotted at 2. And Hank Greenberg, who has walked twice, will take his hacks in the right-handed batter's box. Uh-oh, that's a 33, so that's a re-roll in the second column. That's not good for St. Louis Brown fans. That's a 26, and that's a 6, and that's going to be a double to right center field. So Jutnik will chase it down at the wall, and the big man Hank Greenberg is on second with his first double of the year. As the Detroit faithful cheer on their hometown team. So we got runner on second, nobody out for Dick Wakefield, who's walked and hit to a fielder's choice and scored. Uh-oh, that's another good roll. We got another double roll here coming up. 56. And that's a 6, and that's going to be a double to left center. Runner scores, so Greenberg will score easily. Wakefield slides into second with an RBI double. So the Tigers have regained the lead. So the Browns got the bullpen going. One thing I'm doing is I kind of follow along, and I'm not doing this. It's more just to help me to know who to put in. So, like, if I need a reliever, I'll kind of look and see who they went with in that particular game, or if they need a pinch hitter. So just kind of, again, for this particular replay, I'm just kind of reliving it, kind of watching it play and learning the players and that kind of thing. So, again, it's not exact. If I feel like I want somebody else, I'll definitely do it. But that's kind of what I'm, doing, as far as pinch hitters, if I need a pinch hitter or something like that. So anyway, they had the bullpen going. So here's Pat Mullen, who has singled in a run. He gets a 12, which is a 25 in the 3 column. That's a line drive to second base. Berardino stabs it for out number 1. Pinky Higgins is walked and flied out. That's a 64, a 39 in the 3 column. And that's going to be runner out stealing. Catcher to third. So how about that? Dick Wakefield thought he saw something there, and he is gunned down 2-5 for out number 2. So again, I know that you can do, things to avoid that. So I'm kind of just playing it out. Before I make any modifications, I want to see what's happening. I know that you can. That's one thing about APBA is that you can modify it to your heart's content. It really lends itself to that, and I do see that as a positive. However, before I start modifying, I want to see if I even want to start modifying. So, so far it feels realistic. I know Wakefield's kind of a slow runner, but I know that Babe Ruth was thrown out trying to steal to end. I think it was the 34 World Series or one of those. So things happen. And so instead of just saying, oh, that would never happen, a lot of things happen that we think would never happen. It's just that we don't observe them in real life or obviously wasn't there in 1946. So, again, before I make any modifications, I'm letting it play out and then see, what I think about it. So I like the variety. I mean, again, if you're doing this with the kind of the motive of just trying to watch the game, things like that are great, And so, anyway, Pinky Higgins will step up. Oh, I always do that before they get done with their bat when something like that happens. So that's a 52 which is a 27 in the 3 column. And that's going to be a ground out 5. Oh, hang on a second here. I'm on the wrong chart. I do that every once in a while. I'm sure the result will probably be the same, but so 52 is a 27, and we're on the 3 column, and that is indeed the same. 5-3 ground out. But the Tigers go back in the lead with back-to-back doubles. Leave nobody on as Wakefield was gunned down trying to steal. So we go to the top of the 6th. Detroit up 3-2. Excuse me, got the urge to cough today for some reason. All right, 3, 4, and 5 up for the Browns, seeing if they can regain the lead. Finney is 1 for 2. That's a 62, a 13, and that will be a strikeout. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts for Virgil Trucks in 6 innings. And that will bring up Wally Jutnik, who's 0 for 2. That's a 65, 35 in the 2 column. Ground ball to first. Hank Greenberg will get his 3rd unassisted put out today for out number 2. Johnny Berardino struck out and grounded out to one of those aforementioned Greenberg unassisted putouts. 63, that's a 31. And that's fly ball out to McCoskey in center field. And so for the 2nd inning in a row, Virgil Trucks has retired the Browns in order. Bottom of the 6th. Detroit up by 1. I got me a couple extra Bob Carpenter's scorebooks in the mail yesterday. So I am loaded up for anything that might come our way. As you know, I love these score books. And they work for any game. I've used them for every game I have, and they work for any game. There's plenty of space for ratings, and of course I have to kind of decide, where I want the ratings to be for each game that's different. But, so far I really like it. All right, Bertie Tebbetts is 0 for 2. Shirley seeing if he can keep the deficit at 1. Gets a 36, which is a 33 in the 3 column. And that's popped up on the infield, and Berardino gets it for out number 1. Virgil Trucks is singled and grounded out to 3rd. It's a 35, which is a 13, and he proceeds to strike out for out number 2. So far this game not shaping up like the real life one. Of course, it's not too far away from it. Lake is 0 for 2 with a walk. 65, a 35 in the 3 column, and that will be hit down to Stevens at first base, and he'll get his 1st unassisted put out today. So, Shirley didn't walk anybody that inning. Retires him in order, and we've completed 6 complete here at Briggs Stadium in beautiful Detroit. Detroit up by 1. Mark Chrisman is singled and flew out to center field. He gets a 22, which is a 7 in the B column. Or for the B rating, is a single to right field. So base hit for Chrisman as he collects his 2nd of the day. He is an average runner at first. So we've got Mancuso, who hit a solo bomb back in the 4th. And he gets a 1-1 again. How about that? He gets a 24. That's a 6. With the B grade, that's a double. The runner scores if he's fast, and Chrisman is not. And he scored if he's 2 outs, which there's not. So they will hold Chrisman at 2nd. And Virgil Trucks is in danger of losing the lead. So Mancuso is doubled and homered today. or Chrisman has. Did I not change his card? I don't think I did. So I'm going to see. I know he rolled a 1, and then he did a 24, so that's a 6. So, yeah, the results are the same. So, all right. So that will bring up Chuck Stevens, who hit a home run himself. So the Tigers are going to bring the infield in. Runners on second and third. Again, Stevens is homered and grounded out. And that's a 33. So how about that? That's going to be a 7 on a B grade. That's a single to left center. Runner scores. Batter goes to second on the throw. So they try to throw it home to try to get Mancuso, and he is safe at the plate. And the Browns have regained the lead on a 2-run single by Chuck Stevens. So Stevens and Mancuso are just killing it. He ends up at second base, so there's still nobody out. Runner on second. The Browns up by 1. So it looks like this game may end up closer to the original score than I had first anticipated. I spoke too early. So Tex Shirley will step up. It's a little early to pinch hit. So they're going to go ahead, and of course he's not that great of a pitcher. You almost hate to have him in, but again, back then they, give usually till they got in trouble most of the time. So we'll let him hit away. That's a 21, which is a 12. On fielding 2 is a strikeout with a runner on second base. So Trucks gets the first strikeout of the game or the inning, and Dillinger, who's 0 for 3. Let's see if he can get Stevens home. It's a 46, which is a 13, and that's a strikeout for out number 2. So Virgil Trucks decided he's going to stop messing around. Struck out 2, so the infield will go back. Zarilla, seeing if he can get that run home. It's a 13, which is a 14, and that's going to be a walk. So that's the first walk Virgil Trucks has given up today, living up to his Z rating. So that's runners on first and second, 2 out. For Lou Finney, who is 1 for 3 rather. The Browns trying to tack onto this 1-run lead if they can. 64 is a 13 in the 2 column, and that's a strikeout. So Trucks ends up striking out the side with a lot of activity in between. So the Browns get 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors. They left 2 runners on. And did I do it again? Okay, looks like 64 was the same for Finney too. So I guess that's one good thing about this game. If you forget to flip the cards, it's funny when I record a game. It's just like I've heard other people say this, and it's true. You lose 20% of your mental power. I don't know why. I don't know if you're focusing on other things like, the microphone and the camera and whatever, but I make much fewer mistakes when I'm playing myself than I do when I'm trying to record it. All right, so we got the 7th inning stretch. St. Louis up 4-3. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Tigers. Mayo, who has walked in 3 at-bats. So the St. Louis manager, keeping a close eye on Shirley, has got the bullpen ready if needed. That's a 14, which is a 30 in the 3 column, and that's a fly out to left field. Zarilla will catch it for out number 1. McCoskey is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. 34 is a 31. And that's a fly out to center field. So the St. Louis outfield staying busy this inning. 2 away for Hank Greenberg, who has walked twice and doubled and scored. You most want to intentionally walk him here with with down by 1, but I don't think they would have done that in 46. But he hits it's a 65, which is a 35 in the 3 column, and that's grounded to first. And his opposite number will retire him to end the inning. So good job by Shirley, showing that the faith given to him by his manager was well deserved, at least in that inning. So we go to the top of the 8th. St. Louis Browns 4, Detroit Tigers 3. So Wally Juknick will step up. He's 0 for 3 today against Virgil Trucks. 63 is a 31 in the 2 column. And that's fly to center field. McCoskey catches it. 1 away. Johnny Berardino will step up. He's 0 for 3. So it looks like all the damage for the Browns have been Mark Chrisman and down. That's a 55, which is an 8 on the B. And that's going to be a fly out to center field as well. So nice pitching there by Virgil Trucks. And Mark Chrisman, who is 2 for 3 with a couple singles. Runs scored. 52 is a 27 in the 2 column once again. That's an X, which Virgil has, so he strikes out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the home half of the 8th. The Tigers down by 1. So Wakefield, we got 5, 6, and 7 here. Wakefield is doubled in a run, walked, but was proceeded to be gunned down trying to steal third base, which many in Detroit question the wisdom of that. So that's a 35. And that's ground ball down to Hank Green, or to Stevens again. So Stevens is getting busy down there. 1 away. Pat Mullen is 1 for 3 with the RBI. That's a 53. It's a 16 in the 3 column. And the bases are empty. But that's going to be a single, batter to second on an error by the center fielder. So Juknick commits the second error today for the Browns. And that's not good. So Mullins singles. And he gets to second on the E8. So you got Pinky Higgins up. Runner on first. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. We'll give Tex Shirley one more batter. He's due up third the next inning, but it's a 56, which is a 13. In column 3 is a strikeout. So big out there. Oop, had the wrong color. So out number 2. Birdie Tebbets. Runner on, actually, there's runner on second. Let me see if that changed anything. 13, nope, that still would have been a strikeout. Bernie Tebbets is 0 for 3. He gets a 15, which is an 8 on the D, and that's not good. Single over second, runner scores. A slow is out at home, but McMullen is actually a fast. So that's going to be a single and an RBI. And the Tigers have tied it up. So Birdie Tebbets getting his first start of the year. Comes up big. So got runner on first. So they're going to leave. Let's see, do you leave Virgil Trucks in here? He pitched 236 innings and 29 starts. So I'd say he went the distance most of the time. You see how far he went in the real game. Again, just to see. He went 8 innings, but he'd given up 7 runs at the time. Hey, we're going to leave him in. So Virgil Trucks running on first with 2 out. And he gets a, how about that? Double column. Oh, he gets a 6, which is with a D. That's a double over the first baseman with 2 outs. Any runner scores. So how about that? Birdie Tebbets trucks all the way around from from second base or from first. Virgil Trucks with his second hit, first double, has put the Tigers on top. So, as you might imagine, the Tiger fans are roaring loudly. So, just make sure I got that right. So, that's a 6, double over first, with 2 outs. Any runner scores. So, from first base. So, just like that. So, they're going to go ahead and that'll be it for Shirley. See if they can hold the lead to 1. So it looks like they will go with Sam Zoldak. We'll get the ball for the Browns. I can find him. There he is. He was 9-11, couple saves, 3.43 ERA. Sad Sam, it says. Sam Zoldak. He is a left-handed pitcher. C grade with a Z modifier, so got some control. So he'll see what he can do here with Eddie Lake. So we got runner on second, 2 out. The Tigers already got 2 runs in to have regained the lead. That's a 51. And that's a 9 versus a C. With runner on second, and that's going to be out 5-3. So that would have been a single with a D grade, so it's a good thing we did take him out. So that will do it for the Tigers. But they get 2 runs on 3 base hits, 1 costly error by Jukenich in center. They leave 1 runner on, so we go to the top of the 9th. 5-4 Detroit Tigers. So they're going to leave Virgil Trucks in to see if he can get the win, the complete game. They've got the bottom half or the bottom third of the lineup due up for St. Louis. And again, they've been deadly today. So Mancuso is doubled and homered today. 42 is a 22 in the 2 column. And that's going to be, that's a good thing there are 2. That'd have been an error if they hadn't have been. So their defense saves the day as that's hit to first. This time Greenberg will share the duties with Truck for out number 1. So Chuck Stevens, who is homered and doubled, or singled in 2. He's got 3 RBIs today. Gets a 41. That's a 24 in the 2 column. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Lake will throw on to Greenberg for out number 2. So, St. Louis up to their last at bat. Let's see who we can get for them. So they're going to go with Vern Stevens, who's one of their better hitters. He hit 307, 14 home runs, 64 RBIs. He didn't start today for some reason, but did pinch hit in the real game. So he is a righty. So Virgil Trucks, 1 out away from getting the victory with the bat and the glove, or the arm, so to speak. So last out here, Tiger fans on their feet. Vern Stevens at the plate gets a 62, which is a 13 in column 2, and there's 2 outs. Nobody on, so that's a fly ball to center field. McCoskey will catch it, and that will do it. So good game, especially if you're a Tigers fan. So final score, St. Louis 4, Detroit 5. So this one the runs weren't too far off, but the result was different. So the Tigers go to 2-0. St. Louis falls to 0-2. I know that the Chicago White Sox are 0-2, and Cleveland has won both their games, as Allie Reynolds pitched a shutout in the second game, as did Bob Feller in the first game. So I've yet to play the Yankees at Philadelphia is the other game, and then I haven't played the second Boston-Washington game yet. So anyway, there you have it. Final score, Detroit 5, St. Louis 4. Tex Shirley takes the loss to go 0-1. Virgil Trucks with an impressive outing. Gets the game-winning hit, and he gets the win as the pitcher. So, as usual, I appreciate any comments. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. It was a good game. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.